So I was convinced that I needed multiple teeth pulled. I was convinced that I needed major dental work. I thought I was going to have dentures. In fact, no, I was convinced that I was going to need dentures. But the dentist looked at that x-ray and pointed to one tooth and said, that is the problem. That is what's caused you all this pain. That is the root of all your problems. Welcome to Grace for the Journey. I am your host, Sharanda, and you have caught us in the middle of a series where I am sharing, sometimes TMI, but a little bit of personal information in regards to what I have learned from an experience that I have had recently regarding some dental work. So there's going to be part 3. So for context, for sure, go and catch part 1 and part 2. But basically, I was experiencing ongoing tooth pain for quite some time. I was avoiding it for every reason in the book. And I started to feel the pain in multiple places, multiple different areas. And I was convinced that, I needed so many teeth pulled and I was going to end up with dentures. Went into the dentist finally, and it was only because the pain became so excruciating. I could no longer avoid it. I could no longer hide from it. It had me crippled literally in bed. It was radiating all over the side of my face. So that was the only reason I went in, because I had been putting this off for such a long time. But when it became so unbearable, I went in for the wonderful dentist to say, this one wisdom tooth that I didn't even know had come out is the cause of all of your problems. Once we remove that, you'll be fine. Does this sound familiar? Does this sound familiar in life? So many times we are walking around treating all of the symptoms. We are walking around thinking that we're dealing with the problem. We are going from place to place, treating all the symptoms, and the root cause is still there. Like I said, this was a wisdom tooth that I could not even feel this tooth on the regular. This was not the tooth that was giving me so much issues, but it was the problem. It was the cause of all the other issues that I was experiencing. Isn't that life sometimes? Isn't that how life is? It's so crazy. So many different examples come to mind when I think about this. Think about a person that's battling with maybe their weight loss journey, and the problem isn't how much calories they're taking in. The problem isn't how much they're exercising. The problem is maybe an emotional issue, and they have unfortunately developed this unhealthy relationship with food because it's comforting and it's soothing. How many times have we been in a group and we believe that this group is just not working, this team isn't working, this team at work we aren't getting anything done, I just want to leave, and you find out it's one person. One person was causing the whole issue in the work office. One problem. When they're removed, everything just mellows out. Everybody's able to cooperate. Everything is able to just move on smoothly because it was one problem. How many different scenarios in life can we paint from this? One of the things about this that really has me intrigued is I had no idea my wisdom tooth had come out. I've heard people share experiences where they feel it coming out and it's just so painful, and that's what drives them to go in and take the tooth out. I could not even tell. And I mean, there were signs. I guess the signs were the other pain that I was feeling, and had I gone in to address that, I would have known. But the signs didn't look like what it really was. The signs wasn't telling me, hey, there's a wisdom tooth in the back there that needs to come out. That's not what the signs were showing. A professional would have known, but me, I didn't know. I had another experience recently when I was talking to a friend. You know, you guys have those friends where all I got to do is ask you how you doing. Listen, he had asked me, and the thing is, we weren't even supposed to have this conversation. He had reached out for me for something, and I was like, well, while I have you, let's talk about X, Y, and Z. And so he ended up asking me, I thought I had a problem. I explained the situation to him. I thought it was one thing. And he asked me, how are you really doing? Well, you know, emotional me, the whole waterworks started. And it boiled down to, he said, when last have you worked out with people? When else have you been around a group of people? I am such a people's person. I like to be around people. I like to be myself. I like to be with myself as well. But I just like people. And I had not had this a certain level of human connection that I was used to for a little bit of extended time. And that was the root of my problem. I was still talking to people, but it was that one-on-one personal connection that I needed. But I thought everything in the world was wrong with me. I started listing this and that, and he was like, basically, you need to go and see some human beings. Go and talk to some people. And when I tell you that situation switched and that changed everything, that changed my mood, that changed my mind, that changed so much. But I didn't know that. And it took somebody who knew me, took somebody who was in tune, took somebody who I trusted to be able to, I was able to debrief with them. I was able to, share a little bit, be vulnerable, the word that we don't like all the time, for them to help me get out of my little rut and whatever I was going through. And it was such an easy fix. So when we talk about that misdirected pain, um, I interpret it as where I felt the pain. I knew where I felt it, but I didn't know where it was coming from. And that's a thing with referred pain. And this can be physical, this can be emotional, this can be spiritual, this can fit into any avenue. My mind now goes on to a child or a teenager who maybe is acting out. And you have a professional, you have trained maybe counselors at their school, people that are passionate, maybe you have social workers, and they can look at this child, this teenager, and be like, this isn't your behavior. This isn't normal. You're not just naturally doing this. There's something up. What is actually up? And they end up digging deeper and digging deeper to find out that maybe there was a divorce at home. Maybe parents are fighting. Maybe a big move is coming up. But there's something big that changed. Something happened. They can look at that behavior and say, yeah, no, something's up. But they dig deeper to get to the root of the problem. Another experience that I had, oh man, all these experiences I be sharing. Life really, if you really look at your experience in life, and if you are okay sitting down and processing, the amount of life lessons that can come out of our experiences are insane. Anyway, I digress. So there was a situation where I had went to one of my mentors, and I was like, look, I I need a system. I need a spreadsheet. I have so much things to do and I cannot get it done. And I feel like a failure. I don't understand why I can't start this project and actually finish this project. I just need somebody to help me organize my life. And I went on and on for a bit. You know what my problem was? I was just burnt out. I was just exhausted. I was just exhausted. And they could see through me in that moment, rambling about all the things that felt like so big. I needed a break. I was, this stage of my life, I was dealing with a whole lot, like a whole lot. I had not rested for quite some time. And I didn't just need like a 2 day, 3 day break. I needed an extended amount of time to not deal with what my everyday life had looked like. And even that thought was so scary to even think about how am I going to make this happen. Eventually, we end up making it work. I was on the brink. I was on the brink. You know, when the brink, when people be talking about like that thin line, I was literally walking that thin line, but I couldn't see it. I couldn't see what the root of my problem was. I just thought I just need a system. I just need an Excel spreadsheet. I just need another app to organize me and I'll be good. Don't worry, I got this, I'll be good. And don't we do this all the time? We just think we're good. We're just out there treating all the little symptoms and not sitting long enough or not searching for help long enough to get to the root of our actual problem. And that's the thing, all of the situations that I explained, the three different situations with my friend, with my mentor, and with the dentist, I didn't have the capacity to see this myself. I couldn't tell what the root was. I didn't have the expertise. I didn't have the objective, uh, the objective view. at that point, I just knew what I was experiencing. I knew it, but the pain hurt. I knew I felt it, but I didn't have enough to figure out what my actual problem was and even how to deal with it. And that's the thing. A good segue into, needing people. Talk about this all the time. You need people. You need people, whether it's friends, whether it's professionals, whatever it is. I don't need to get into all of that, but you need people. And you need to be vulnerable enough and open enough to share where the pain points are. Because somebody needs to know where the pain points are. And when you tell them where those pain points are, they can tell you what the root cause and how to fix the root so that referred pain can no longer be there. And when you deal with the root, you'll notice that that referred pain is no longer there because the root has been dealt with. Please, please, please don't be so afraid of sharing your story, even if you've been, hurt before. I get that, I understand that, but finding a trusted person that you can talk to, because sometimes you don't even know who you need to seek help from. But if you have a trusted person, they can look objectively and be like, hey, maybe I think you should go to the dentist. Hey, maybe I think you should see a chiropractor. Hey, I think you need to go to therapy. Why don't you try this workout class? Hey, I think you should come to me to this small group. If you have at least one person that you can share with, and because you may not be able to see objectively, to even see where to get help from. You find a friend, either the friend knows what the problem is, or they may not know what the problem is, but they may have a better idea objectively of who you can go and see to find out what the problem is and get help. Don't be afraid of being a little open in this life. Don't be afraid of getting hurt so much that you don't get help. The amount of pain that you're feeling does not equal the amount of damage. You're not that broken. You are not that broken. And I don't know why I'm going in this direction, but I'll go there. The value that you have is the same value whether you feel that now or not. It's that example of that $100 bill. You could crumple it up, you could stomp on it, you can do all the things with it. It still holds that value. So sometimes we feel so broken. Sometimes we feel like it's just too much. Sometimes we feel like we cannot get out of whatever we're in. And it just feels like it's too much to deal with. It's because you're not meant to deal with it. It's because you're not equipped to deal with it. So speaking to somebody can either help you or they can direct you to somebody else. Like in customer service, I've always worked in customer service my entire life. And, you're trained to never tell a customer that, oh, I don't have the answer to that. I will help you find that answer. So no, I don't know, but come with me. I will go and find somebody that does. Or have a seat there. Or just give me a second. I will get right back to you. Let me go and see if I can find that answer for you. So sometimes we have those type of people in our life. They may not know the answer, but they can help us find the answer. If we're just a little bit open, if we're just a little bit more vulnerable with them, because I promise you, you're not as broken as you think. It's not as far gone as you think. But if you sit in it, and if you keep avoiding it, unfortunately, it could get to that point. Let's not get to that point. So I'll end this by saying grief and trauma has a source. It has a source. And finding that source, believe it or not, can literally change your life. It may not be instant. It probably won't be instant. But at least now you know on what I need to work on, what issue I need to address. Who do I need to go to for help? How can I get out of this situation? If you know anybody that needs to hear this, please go ahead and share this with them. Give us a like if this has blessed you. Drop in the comments below. Let me know about some times where you've just been treating the surface level things when actually the issue has been much deeper. Feel free to share some experiences of when you dealt with the root, things just leveled out. And if you recognize that you need help on your healing journey, please feel free to book a session with me. I know what it feels like to be stuck. I have been there in so many different areas of my life, and I'm so grateful to be on the other side. No, life is not perfect, but I am no longer stuck. I am no longer drowning in pain, drowning in grief. There is actual joy, and I'm so excited for you to see the other end of this pain. I'm so excited for you to get on the other side of your story. And I am so excited to help you get there. All right, so it has been great, guys. Make sure you are subscribed so you never miss one of our talks. We all need a little bit more grace for our journey, and that's what this platform has been created for. It's been real. Glad to have you with me today. See you guys next time. Bye for now. Love you.